we are nearing the end of this interactive video series. So just a few more. So let's take a look at this example problem, and then I'll give you a practice problem to work on. So if we start here, we start with our parentheses. And in this case, we also have brackets. So we'll start with inside our brackets. And we'll go inside of our parentheses. And we have, within our parentheses, we have that micro problem. And so then we go through order of operations. Again, we don't have any parentheses or exponents or roots, and so then we go to multiplication and division. So 2 times 2 is 4. Let's drop everything else down. Here, again, keep the brackets so that we can keep the structure of the problem and we know we're doing the right operation at the right time. 49. All right, so now we're still in our brackets inside our parentheses, and so we have to add or subtract, and since it's all addition, let's just add straight across. 11 plus 6 is 17, plus 4 is 21. I'm going to combine steps there just because it's a simple addition problem. And drop everything else down. 5 minus the square root of 49. So now we're inside of our brackets where we need to do our exponents. And so we have 4 squared, which is 16, plus 21, brackets 5 minus square root of 49, and let's not forget this minus 11 out on the end. And then let's finish out our brackets of 16 plus 21 is 37. And again, I'm going to keep it in those brackets so that I know what operation I'm performing there. All right, so now that we're done with that, we need to come to exponents and roots. So if you look here, we have a square root. And so the square root says what number multiplied by itself will give you 49. And we know that 7 times 7 is 49. So the square root of 49 is 7. And we have 5 times 37 minus 11. So now that we're done with our exponents and roots, we come here to multiplication and division. We have one step here of multiplication, and so you do 37 times 5, which is 7 times 5 is 35, carry the 3, 3 times 5 is 15, plus 3 is 18. So we have 185, and drop down the signs and everything. Now our final step here is addition and subtraction, and we do that from left to right. So we do 7 minus 185, and so if you think about it, you're going to be going out in the negative direction, so we're going to do 185 minus 7, and whatever we get will be negative. So we borrow, this becomes a 15, 15 minus 7 is 8, drop the 7 and the 1, so we have a negative 178. We subtract 11. So it says we're out at negative 178. We go in the negative direction 11 more. So really what we do here is we add them together, and whatever we get is going to be negative. So 8 plus 1 is 9, 7 plus 1 is 8, and drop down the 1. So we have negative 189. All right, so now let's go from there and have you guys try this problem here. So go ahead and write the problem down, pause the video, try the problem, and we will, and I'll show you how to do it here in a second. All right, so let's come back to this now and talk through this problem. So we need to start with our parentheses, and in this case we also have our brackets. And so inside our brackets, we go inside our parentheses, and we have our multiplication. Again, the micro problem, 3 times 2 is 6. Drop everything else down. 11, keep those parentheses, keep the brackets, because that's the structure of our problem to tell us what we're doing when. And plus 4 times 2. Okay, now within here we have to move left to right and add and subtract. And so we say 11 minus 6 is 5, plus 6 goes right back to 11. I'm going to put that in parentheses still. adding 8 squared, keep the brackets, drop everything else down. And now we're inside the bracket still, and so we do our exponents because we go back to order of operations, and so 8 squared is 8 times 8, which is 64. Okay, keep the brackets. We'll actually keep these in parentheses as well. The 11. Drop everything else down. Alright, so now inside of our brackets, we do 64 plus 11, which is 75. Keep that in brackets. Drop everything down. Plus 4 times 2. So now that we're done with our brackets, braces, and parentheses, we come here and we do our exponents and roots. And so in this case, we have a root, the square root of 81, which says what number multiplied by itself will give you 81, and it's 9, because 9 times 9 is 81. And so we come and we drop everything else down, plus 4 times 2. Then our next step here is to multiply and divide from left to right. So we start with this multiplication and we do 75 times 7, and which is 5, carry the 3, so that's 35, and then 7 times 7 is 49, plus 3 is 52. So we have 9 minus 525 plus 4 times 2. Now we need to do our other side of multiplication here. So we have 9 minus 525 plus 4 times 2, which is 8. And now we need to finish off our problem with adding and subtracting. 9 minus 525, again, our answer is going to be negative. So we take 525 and we subtract 9, and then whatever we get will be negative. So this becomes a 1, this becomes 15. 15 minus 9 is 6. Drop the 1. Negative 516 plus 8. So we're out at negative 516. We move in the positive direction 8. So we need to subtract these two, and whatever we get is going to be negative. So here is 0. This becomes 16. 16 minus 8 is 8, then 0, and 5. So we end with negative 508. We have come to the end of another video, and it's your time to choose. So if you got it right, click on I got it right, and it'll send you to another example that you can work through. If you missed it, go ahead and click on I missed the problem. We'll work through another example, and then I'll give you another opportunity to practice order of operations.